Hello, hello, Arty friends. Here is a highlight from our live stream. Enjoy. Anyway, this is P over here.
M over there.
Patricia.
Mariah.
And together,
we are PM Artist Studio. I want to get this spread around over my plate because remember, this is just as important as because I'm prepping this plate for its new.
Right. Still really wouldn't call this like peach, but you've got nearer.
I'm okay with it.
This is more like a dusty rose.
It is. And I'm very fond of that.
I do like that color.
All right. Now let's get this out of here so we don't have to worry about rubbing my arm in that as I'm brayering on.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, one of the reasons I wanted a lot of paint on here because guess what I'm going to do?
Flop off.
And you can't flop off if you don't have a bunch of paint.
Well,
I mean, you can, but it doesn't, it's not helpful, and I don't know really what I want to flop off onto. Oh, here, that's a good one. That's one of Mariah's.
Well, thank you. I'm glad it's good for something. More brayering?
No, I just needed to get that off of there because I didn't want that.
So, for those of you that don't understand what a flop off is, it's when you take the stencil that is covered in paint and you flop it off onto a piece of paper and then transfer what is on the stencil onto the paper. That's a flop off. There you go. Now, one must be very careful with a brand new stencil. I think she's going to prove it right here. Playing with fire.
Breathing a sigh of relief.
Okay, because what happens, especially if it's going to the paper, like if it's hitting those paper areas, you need to really move it.
It's going to stick.
It's going to stick.
It's going to stick, folks.
If it's an older stencil that already has paint on it, less likely to happen. If you were going paint to paint, even if it's a brand new stencil, less likely to happen. And when I say paint to paint, that means the paint from the stencil onto a painted piece of paper. It's just that new stencil paint to paper that really gets you in trouble. And actually, it's kind of scary when and usually this is what's happening, because usually you do it with a brayer off, is that there's some areas that have paint, some areas that don't. So you have a false sense of security. And then it kind of catches an area. Look at that. Professional wiping. Good job. Did you like my explanation of all the flop off business?
I thought that was really, really great.
Thank you.
And
someone asked the other day.
They
didn't ask very nicely, but I thought it was worth visiting.
Oh, who?
Somebody. The rando internet people.
Rando internet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, and here's the other thing. If you want to keep that going past its, due date, you can use open paints and you can get a lot of stuff out of that one.
Yes. Open paint, most ideal to use for flop off because it gives you that extra security of knowing that it isn't going to stick right away.
Right. So with that one application of paint, we have a future brayer off that is really fantastic.
Oh, you're sweet, Deb.
And we've got this flop off over here, which is,
Yes. I love that. And, whoever's brayer off that was, I mean, it was fabulous.
Well, it would really been nice if
she would have gone all the way.
All the way over the edge.
They've all been made at some point.
Green gold. per Mariah's request, which I, by the way, did. And
She supported this request.
I did support this request.
Actually,
always give that new stencil a bit of a rub down with your clean. I stress the word clean because sometimes mine is not. Happened to be today. Hallelujah. Okay, here we go. Now, here's the thing. I just suddenly thought, you know what I've got? Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Provided I can find the dead gum stuff. Where are you? Where? Oh, there you are.
Ah, the open.
Open green gold.
Oh, because then you can get a really good flop off.
I can get a really good flop off.
And then another one,
here,
and then another one.
Another one. I got to get them lined up, folks.
Yeah, get it lined up.
Don't, you know, I mean, even though it is open paint and allows you a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, yes, this is lovely. I think this is gonna be lovely.
Isn't it? Oh, check this out too.
Nice, nice, nice. Look at that.
And I can probably do a rub off on this, but I want to get down my.
Got the chuckling.
And because I can do this because I know that I've got open paint out there and it's going to be a-okay.
Yeah, it can just really relax you using open paint.
I mean, it just, you know, you just can.
Oh, yes.
Kind of just take a little.
Yeah, y'all have been
breather.
in one of those, you know, 70s kitchens or bathrooms. I think that's usually where the wallpaper was, either kitchens or bathrooms. Or an accent wall in the living room, right?
Yeah, and the foyer.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well, thank you, Jocelyn. Sometimes I feel like,
what?
Surely I am like, you know, still a baby, but.
There we go.
Oh, did that. That was good. That was good.
What?
They're just chiming in. They thought that was hilarious.
Oh, the Albuquerque story?
Yeah. She smoked my last cigarette, my fancy cigarette. Let me tell you, those things were very expensive. I mean, you know, cigarettes are expensive anyway, but they were extra expensive because they were fancy.
They were fancy.
Okay, so the paper that she has down there right now is the hammer mill to pull the print. And then she's using the deli paper to clean up the edges.
Whoa, I've never had that happen
very
before.
Sticky.
That's just weird. Well, we'll put that here. I'll hand you that, and you can put that in the giveaway. People have little strips of
Flowers. Already handed me things that need to dry. Rude. And I started.
Check this out.
Oh, I love it.
And pull it with a creamy color.
That reminds me of like some shirt that Grandma Frances had.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. Or pants. Maybe a whole suit. And you know it was polyester.
Now, let's see here. Okay, that might be a good one. That might be a good one. Oh, I think this is going to be absolutely perfect.
Oh, yes. I'm very excited about this. Now, those of you that say, well, I don't have open paint, that's okay. invest in a retarder. The best one that we have found that is very reasonable is the US Art Supply. It makes your paint dry slower. That's what the open paint is. There are other mediums that will basically slow the drying process. They tend to be a little pricier, but you can look around at Liquitex. Golden even has, like, even the airbrush medium stuff, I think, adds an extending drying time to paints.
It does. Now, I will say that the thicker mediums are a little more, what do I want to say? Well, you don't lose your heavy body factor if you're using the thicker mediums.
Yes.
Rather than the squishy ones.
That's right.
So that is something to
certainly take into consideration.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Okay, so let's see here. So Jose is asking about the stencils that will partner well layering with this lovely new petal burst. Oh yes. Okay, so Rhonda's
I've got a couple here.
Yeah.
I've got this one.
So that's Vintage Floor Tile by Eddie.
And now maybe we'll be able to see. Oh man, look at that. That's so cool.
Yes. Yeah, the Swish Splash Flora, which is another one of Rhonda's, I think would be really, really cool with it.
Now, I wanted to see about
Yes. I like where you're going with that.
Now, it's kind of hard to see. But I'm going to get down. I'm going to get down a layer of this.
Oh, Darcy's Hairy Scary would be really cool. That would be nifty because it would almost look like they are like splashing.
Oh, yes. Yes.
This is looking very festive.
Festive as all get out. Okay.
So I think this is one of those stencils where, depending on what color combos you use with it, it has, quite the opportunity to, be one of those ones that's
one of those ones that is like, oh my gosh, that's wonderful. Okay. I don't know that. I think I'm going to let this dry. Yeah. I'm going to let this dry before I put the other stencil on top.
Yeah, that's smart.
And I could pull it and just have the print and then use the print, but I'm thinking not. I've got something I want to try here.
So one of the things about what P just said is that if she were to put down a piece of paper right now and pull it up, you don't get as crisp. Like, not all of it is necessarily going to come up. So you're going to get more of a distressed pull, right?
Especially if it's just regular paint. Now, I think I had enough leeway on this that I really honestly think.
But it is, it's a gamble.
It really honestly is. And it's one of those things where sometimes it works and sometimes it don't work.
Yeah, and Rhonda, she's so sweet. She says, I agree, as many others in the shop. Yeah, you have to think about, there are going to be stencils that are ones that are really cool, but may not be, like, ones that you go to quite a bit. Like, they're kind of a finishing fun stencil. Then you have, like, these that are great to, like, start building up cool layers with. This could start and finish very nicely.
Exactly. This is one of those ones where it really...
Hey, Kathy.
In order for it to really work for you, you just have to decide. A starter or an ender. I think it could go either way. Now, there are some that definitely are starters and definitely enders. But this is one, just depending on the other.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I wanted to show you what that does.
Look at her. Very fancy rub off.
And then I've got this lovely, I know how to do that though. And that's what it reminds me, I was going to tell you.
So then we can say, love you.
Like a long haul.
See you next time.
Adios.
Bye, guys. Hope you enjoyed the highlight. For the full-length replay, click this end screen. Be sure to sub and ring the bell to be notified every time we go live.